Brilliant. Gadget, what you been doing, boy?
I've had a very good week because, yes, it was my birthday and Pip and I took
50 baldies.
Fuck off. Pip and I took a trip down to London because one of my birthday presents was she took me to see Jeff Wayne's War of the World, the Immersive Experience.
Yes.
Da, da, da.
Yes. So Candy has talked about this before, so I'm going to go over it briefly because there is something else from the trip I want to talk about. But this is, it's on Leadhall Street or something. It's based just off Fenchurch Street. It is a full interactive theatre experience recounting Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. And it's fucking outstanding. It's absolutely bloody brilliant. You go through...
Candy was nearly crying when she explained it to us.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So you go into it, first of all, you start off in the Spirit of Man bar, which is where you have a couple of drinks beforehand, get yourself loosened up, and there's a big tripod head in the room, kind of spraying out coloured smoke to let you know when it's time to come in.
Did anyone sit under the table that gets the full blast?
Yeah, we did.
I love that because we were in there for about 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah, so were we.
Yeah. So we were watching like couple
hammered
by
when I went
couple. Yeah, we were watching couple by couple come and sit on this chair, get absolutely blasted, and then move along, and then watch the next couple do the same thing. No one told anyone.
No. Yeah, so we went for drinks, and then you go into it and you kind of get introduced to it. It takes the original story and kind of turns it around a bit as if it's like as if we're seeing the story being retold by someone by the journalist like years later.
No one would believe that in the vacuum of
Exactly, yeah, all that stuff, all that good stuff, and it's done with the tech behind it is some of it's really cool because it's done with kind of volumetric holograms. You get like fire shows, you get proper immersive things, you get the actors. The actor we had playing Olgavi, the astronomer, sounded like Matt Berry, and both me and Pip found that absolutely hilarious.
New York City.
Yeah,
giving it.
Pip unfortunately started flirting with one of the guys playing the soldiers, which she
took him away to the hotel.
I think if given the opportunity, she would have tried. But
threesome.
The artilleryman was actually the artillery woman, and she was a lovely little lass from Leeds.
That's cool.
It was a Yorkshire lass.
That's what best people are from.
But yeah, you work through it, and my favourite part. So the way the experience works, you have different sets that you walk through. There's kind of 24 scenes that you get through, but there are 3 VR scenes. So you'll go into a room and they've got a load of HTC Vives, and you put them on. And my favourite one, I think everyone's favourite one, is Thunderchild. Because
Thunderchild.
Yeah, so the way that one's set up, you are sat in a kind of replica boat. You put the VR headset on, and it starts with a bit of Forever Autumn as you move down the river, and then you get to the Thames, and you see the tripods walking down and kind of destroying Parliament, and the boat is moving and shifting, and you get out to sea, and you're watching the fight between Thunderchild and the tripods. And like the VR graphics are a bit shit because it was done a few years ago, but it doesn't matter. I had fucking goosebumps the whole time. It was fucking incredible. Like I think I was nearly crying at one point through like tears of joy. It's
one of the best albums ever made. That's why.
I mean, it is, yeah. But just like seeing that moment and seeing the fight between Thunderchild and the tripods,
yeah,
it works so well. So if you're in London, I would really heartily recommend it. It's one of the best things I've ever done. The staff there.
I went to see the one of the not the Philharmonic, but one of the
stage show ones.
Do the whole thing in Bradford, Alhambra. That was so good.
Yeah. Well, this one's good because you've got the actors in front of you can talk back and forth to them. They have some really creative ways of showing things. Like when they do Brave,
Gary Barlow went out with it.
Yeah. When you do Brave, well, this is based on the original recordings as well, so it's the original singers and actors. But like when they do Brave New World, you sat in a room with this kind of like it's almost like a planetarium screen up there, and it's got this like Pink Floyd-esque animation of like the vision for Brave New World and stuff like that. Oh, it's just so good.
I love that they give you that bit just after you've refreshed your drinks. So you go down and you sit down in this really disorienting sort of experience. You're just like,
there is a beer break in the middle as well. But yeah, it's absolutely worth the money if you go down to London. The other thing I did, and this is the kind of the main thing I do want to talk about. So you all know I play the guitar, and I'm a lover of guitars in general, in collecting them.
You don't even own any guitars.
I know. Well,
it's a fake background.
It's a fake background. It's all green screen. I went to Tin Pan Alley for the first time in my life.
I've been there. It's very good.
Yes,
and I don't like London.
So Tin Pan Alley, for those who aren't familiar, is Denmark Street, which is it's a little street. It's only about 100 yards long, but it's just off Tottenham Court Road, near Leicester Square, and it is the source of rock and roll history, because in the 50s and 60s, that place housed the studios that the Rolling Stones recorded their first album in, Black Sabbath recorded their first 2 albums in, the Beatles recorded their demos in before they went to Abbey Road. Elton John met Bernie Tomei there. Like, there is so much history in that place, and it's a row of vintage guitar shops. And we went to Regent Sounds, and I'm going to give them a big shout out because I absolutely enjoyed my time with them. Nick and Rob there absolutely looked after me. They were lovely lads. Regent Sounds is on Denmark Street, is where the Rolling Stones recorded their first album, where Jimi Hendrix cut demos, where
wow.
Hang on, they have a list on their website from when it was the studio of the people there. So they include the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Kinks doing the early demos, The Who did some recording there. Elton John did his playing sessions before he became an artist. So like the piano on It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones, that's Elton John. The lower third with David Bowie, before David Bowie became a thing, was done. They recorded there. The Bee Gees, the Trogs, Slade, Sandy Shaw, the Equals, John Martin, Davy Graham, the Yardbirds, Herman's Hermits, Brian Poole, the Tremolos, the Downliners, Mott the Hoople. The Eagles have rehearsed sessions there. Like,
mate, it'd be quicker to tell us who didn't do it.
Exactly, the place is like steeped with history. It's no longer a studio now, but it's now a guitar shop. It's a vintage guitar shop as well. And I walked in there, and the staff was so friendly, and they were just putting really old guitars in my hand, like to say, "Oh, give this a try, give this a try, give this a try." And it was absolutely incredible. And in that shop, I found my holy grail guitar. I found the one guitar that ever since I started playing, I have adored and lusted after. Exactly. And lads and ladies, I bought him.
Yes.
It's a boy guitar, is it?
It's a Fisher-Price, my first guitar.
Meet
Gibson.
Meet my Gibson Les Paul Custom Thunderchild. I've named him Thunderchild.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
Let's have a look at body.
So it's
she's beautiful.
Gibson Les Paul Custom in ebony. It is from the custom shop as well. It is one of 300 made.
Oh, so that'll just keep going up in value then. That's an investment.
Yes, it will.
This is future Gadget's problem, by the sounds of it.
Absolutely.
No, that's an investment. That guitar won't depreciate in value at all.
Yes, it is.
I think the necks are too thick on them. I always have done.
This one's got a 50 style neck. It's quite thin.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm not a guitar person. I can tell that's just stunning.
Yeah.
I'm not a Gibson guy, but it's pretty.
Well, you
It is
pretty.
It has been the guitar I've wanted ever since I started playing. And I saw it, and it's the first time I've seen one in that condition, of that quality, at a price that I could afford. And it was like, yeah, I'm fucking having it. And the guys were so nice. They set it up for me. We just talked at one point, because Pip was getting talked to them as well. They were telling her about the history of the place. At one point, I'm noodling on that guitar, just like testing it out through an amp. And
playing Stairway to Heaven.
No, we don't do Stairway.
No Stairway, denied.
Denied. But as I'm playing around, I look up, and Pip's being played a Dolly Parton song that she's never heard before from the guys behind the counter. Like,
how many men did she take back to her hotel that weekend? It sounds like you had a right fucking romp.
The best part of it is, so after I'd committed to buying it and I paid the money, and they were we had other stuff doing in London, so they sent it off to their tech for a setup and said, come back at the end of the day and pick it up. And I'd spotted an amp in there that I wasn't interested in because I could not afford this amp. But oodles. Marshall JTM 45.
Fuck off.
From 1964 in mint condition.
That's like a 5, 10, nearly 10 grand amp.
16 grand amp.
Oh, they've gone up in price. Fucking hell.
But they had one in there, and I kept eyeing it up every time. And Pip said to them, says, "Can Gadget play that through that amp?" They were
my mate, my old guitar instructor is my mate now. He bidded on a Buddy Holly one,
Yeah.
And it went up to like 12 grand. He went, nah, I'm out.
So
And that were like battered.
So for those who obviously aren't guitar nerds like me, the Marshall JTM 45 is the kind of amp that Hendrix used. So that sound
It's
of
probably the
Jimi
best
Hendrix,
amp ever made.
It's that 60s rock sound.
Yeah, it's
And this-
psychedelica.
Yeah, and this one, I'm not kidding. Like most of them have been destroyed or have kind of gone ruined over the years. This one, I kid you not, was in factory condition. I've no
There's no
idea.
cigarette ash on it at all.
No cigarette ash, no burns, no cuts in the tool X of the finish, no scratches on the faceplate. None of it.
Mental.
And they plugged it in for me, and it's one of those amps that to get the sound out of it, you need to turn it up.
Oh, yeah.
And they let
Did it
me.
go up to 11?
No, they go up to 10, I think.
It went well. They put it up to 8, and I was nearly deafened by it.
Yeah,
They're
I
very
think
loud amps.
Before that joke existed, amps
Yeah.
sometimes now go up to 11, but
Yeah.
it's way before then.
They turned it up, and the Les Paul through that Marshall amp, it sounded fucking incredible. And Pip pointed out to me, he says, like, this room has had all these vibrations put into it by so many artists over the years, and I've contributed to that now. Like, this history. And what it
I'd
made
like
me...
to play a Strat through that amp, though.
Oh,
I'd
it would
play a
sound
Strat.
good.
Oh, God, we could talk about this all day.
I know. And the last thing I'll kind of point out to it is what this made me realize is like I've been shopping for guitars for years, but I go to like Guitar and PMT, which are in Newcastle.
Standard.
Yeah. No, don't go to them. It's shite. It's a shite experience with them because they sell crap, cheap guitars. They sell some expensive, but if you want to play like an elite guitar, if you want to play a Les Paul custom there, they make you pay like £100 deposit.
Just to play it.
Just to play it.
I hate that because they think that they're so like up their own asses, aren't they?
It's so gatekeepery. Whereas, so where I was going in, and I was primarily dealing with this lad Nick, and we're going in, and he's saying like, I'm playing the Les Paul, and he's like, oh, this is great. Try this Gordon Smith, which was like $2.5 grand. It's like, try this one to see how you feel with it. I'm like, it's not as good. Okay, try this one, and he keeps just putting really fucking expensive guitars in my hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't ask me to take my watch or my bracelets off or my hoodie off or anything like that. It doesn't care. It's just like, no, these guitars need to be played. And I'm like,
I remember
this is how you buy guitars.
The experience of going to like a big branded one like Music Box. They don't exist anymore, Music Box, but they used to be everywhere. There was one in Newcastle and Leeds and stuff. We used to go in with his mates, and my mate used to like say, I'll play, and he was into, it's like playing The Cure, a song from The Cure that no one in his, can't play that in here. Okay, I'll play something else. Can't play that in here. And they weren't playing he weren't playing fucking Oasis or Led Zeppelin. He was playing stuff that, and they were just like, you can't play that in here. You got to play your own composition. Like, who the fuck are you? We're in a cover band. Do you know what I mean? We're 18 years old. We will play the Smiths if we want to play the Smiths or the Cure. Fuck off. I hate that shit.
Again, if you're a guitarist or you're just interested in rock music in general, go down to Regent Sounds on Denmark Street and just talk to the guys. They'll give you a history lesson of the place. They'll
I've
show you the
literally
stuff.
walked past it and just thought, ooh.
It's lovely. It's got that smell of old wood. That smell that you want.
Yeah, varnish, guitar varnish.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had a very fucking good week.
So one quick question: when they kept handing you guitars and stuff, was it kind of like when Harry Potter's choosing his wand and they give him one wand, things are exploding in the background? It's like, no, not that one. Give it back. Try this one.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you at all, Candy.
off.
Like, Gadget will back me up on this. When you're a musician, you can't play any of that particular instrument. You've got to play a specific one because they don't all work with you. Especially guitars. Guitars are the worst for that. I play Schecter. Gadget don't play Schecter.
No,
it's not his thing.
It's because they're made of wood. Like the guitars behind me, like my Telecaster. I've played loads of Telecasters. It's only that one that's sung to me. You know,
yeah, exactly.
So
It's a bit like Wand.
Yeah, I guess it is like that comparison, Candy. It's like, you know, you put one in my hand. Yeah, it sounds nice, but no, I don't like the feel of it. No, this one feels nice, but I don't like the sound of it. But like the Les Paul, when he put that in my hand, it felt right.
The shopkeeper was like, curious.
Yeah.
If you want to ask that question, speak to drummers because they're even worse.
No, I don't.
They won't play with certain
anymore.
sticks, mate.
I mean,
and like I only get certain pianos. I can't play any piano.
It's a weirdly personal hobby, isn't it?
It's disgusting. It's pathetic. We need to grow up.
Yeah, we do.